Don Womack took part in 22 combat missions.
I tell people that I wasn't really afraid but one time, and that was from the time I left the States till I got back. It was scary, it really was.
During those missions, his plane was never attacked from the air, but took a lot of anti-aircraft fire, or flak, from the ground. One night, while flying over a target, it was his job to take a picture of the bomb run.
So I got out and was on my knees over the camera as the bomb run started, and a piece of flak hit me in the side and just threw me up against the side of the ship, turned me sideways, you know, and I hit the back, and they tell me I lost quite a bit of blood.
The pilot turned back and flew Don to their base in Italy. He was wounded and was in the hospital for weeks.
I got back to the base. I hadn't been put back on flying status, and they left that morning, and I went out and watched the plane leave, and I went back out that afternoon to see it come back in, and they didn't come back in. They went down.
The man who flew in Don's place bailed out over Germany and was taken prisoner. The rest of his crew stayed on the plane a while longer.
And they decided they could get over the Alps. They wasn't sure they could make it, but they could. And they bailed out in Yugoslavia and worked their way back, and I flew with them again.
When the war ended in Europe, he went on leave. While he was home, the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. Don got out of the Air Force and didn't see or talk to the men in his crew again for decades. His squadron held a reunion every year, but Don didn't go.
They were going back to Italy 40 years in 1984, and I decided to go back with them.
He got a letter from President Reagan for that trip. From 1984 on, he stayed in contact with 6 members of his crew for the rest of their lives. Don is the only one left. At this year's reunion, there were only 9 men from his squadron who made it. Next year, they'll hold their last one.
It's sad, but that's part of life.
Don Womack is 88 years old. He's still working. He works 2 days a week driving for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Kim.